Okay.
Okay. Somebody call 911. Somebody please, he's dying, my brother's dying, my sister's dying, my cousin's dying, my uncle's dying. My people were dying. But what do we do? What do we do when the criminal answers the line, when our distress calls are answered by the opponent who can only dispatch the enemy? Did you guys hear that? I said, what do we do? What do we do when the criminal answers the line, when our distress calls are answered by the opponent who can only dispatch the enemy? Just the other day, my brother was stopped by an officer and he was read his Trayvon rights. The officer said, "You have the right to remain black in America, but anything you say or do will be used against you in a court of racially oppressed law." He said, "You have the right to a jail cell. If you are not given this privilege, death will be provided for you." Do you understand the rights I have just read to you? But see, the officer didn't have to finish. The officer didn't even have to finish because my brother knew his rights as a black man in America. As a black man in America, you are still treated much like a terrorist. As a black man in America, you are still told race doesn't exist. As a black man in America, you are still treated 3/5 a person, 1/5 aggressive, 1/5 sexual, 1/5 dangerous. And as a black man in America, the other 2/5 are exempt because as a black man in America, you are conditioned to forget the rest. As a black man in America, there is no such thing as a bulletproof vest.
Come on, Shay.
They say we're equal. They claim we're equal to a problem that has had no solution, a mathematical coefficient whose common denominator always ends in a negative quotient.
Ooh.
They simply try to put a condom on this issue while these negative stigmas continuously penetrate our minds forcefully in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out until that condom breaks. And that sperm that sneaks its way through is like poison that impregnates our nation, and that silence that we choose only nurtures that prejudiced baby long enough for it to thrive in a womb of hate until it's time for the birth of a young man who will police our nation. Oh, say, can you see by that cricket street light, his body remains motionless after that ferocious fight. And oh, how we cried as we watched his mother violently screaming, and his badge splattered with blood still remains gleaming. And witnesses were called, shots bursting in air, it gave proof to the crowd that white privilege was still there. So yes, that Star-Spangled Banner still waves, but it promotes the land of the free and the home of the slaves.
Hey,
Thank you.
yes, Shay.